Lieutenant Governor of the state of Louisiana, the Honorable Mr. Billy Nungesser is here. Hey, Mr. Billy, welcome back to Kiel. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing this
Well,
morning?
so far you're unopposed. Are you anticipating a last-minute challenger? You got to feel pretty good about. Evidently, nobody thinks you're beatable.
Well, I hope you're right. You know, it's very unusual. There'll be probably somebody in the race because very seldom, I can't remember the last time a lieutenant governor or governor has gone unchallenged. You know, with attorney general, it's a little different because you've got to be a lawyer. So it's a certain group that could qualify for that job. But when it's wide open, anybody can pay the fee and get in the race. We're anticipating we'll have somebody, just hopefully not a well-financed candidate, and we'll be able to keep promoting Louisiana. And I'm pretty excited about not having an announced candidate this far. So that's all good news.
Well, interestingly, here's I would imagine that however you get the job as chairman of the National Governors Association, that they think you've got a pretty good chance of being reelected. You are now that chairman of the NGA. Tell us about that. What does that entail?
Well, what that means is we come together at meetings throughout the year in different states. One is we look at things that other states are doing, and we share ideas and thoughts. That's how we came up with the idea for the private-public partnership for the state parks. But we also endorse things. You know, it's hard to get things done in Washington. Well, if you get a letter from or you get a call from your lieutenant governor, another statewide elected official, your congressmen and senators pretty much have to listen. We passed a 10-cent inspection fee on imported seafood that I proposed at the last meeting, that a letter will go from each lieutenant governor to their senators of Congress asking them to support that, which will allow the federal government to hire thousands more inspectors to get that from 2% up to about 50% to inspect more of the imported seafood. That'll help Louisiana fishermen get a little boost in price, and it'll make the seafood safer. But things like that, child obesity, things that we can agree on, that we can push legislation from the ground up from our states, I'm really excited about doing those things and working as a team to get some things done in Washington through our states.
Billy, I'm hearing that the College Baseball Hall of Fame folks were looking at a site in Texas for their permanent home, and that now they may actually be looking at Baton Rouge. And I know they've scheduled an event. What can you tell us so far about those early discussions?
Well, I believe it's going to be between Omaha and Baton Rouge. And they're going to be selecting the inductees this year at an event here in Baton Rouge. And we'll be feeding them some good Louisiana seafood and showing them the best hospitality in the world. And I'm pretty sure after they have that event here and see the passion and love for sports that we have here in Louisiana, that there'll be no competition. And that permanent home would be located here in Baton Rouge. That would be a win for Louisiana.
That would mean lots of visitors. I mean, college baseball's a pretty big deal.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like, you know, the football one is in Atlanta, Georgia. Women's basketball, I think, is in Nashville. And people, you know, anyone that's playing college sports tends to go to those cities to visit those museums. And every year the inductees and their families will be in town for the induction ceremony. So it's a great opportunity for us. You know, we always need to add new attractions as people come back to Louisiana. We've got to have new things for them to do. And this surely would be a great treasure for Louisiana.
Mr. Billy, let's talk for a second about your probable second term. You came into office with a pretty big picture plan. You got to be thinking already about the next 4 years, right? What do you, Billy Nungesser, see? What's the Billy Nungesser plan for Lieutenant Governor after re-election, dare I say?
Well, I tend to get involved in everything. And, you know, we never tell anyone no that calls our office. We try to find them assistance. I really want to get, besides growing the tourism industry and really getting our private-public partnerships going to make our state parks profitable, restructuring the museum system. You know, I agreed that this year I will give up control of the director of the museum, but we're doing an overlook with a consultant of all the museums in the state. And I think I'm hoping they'll come back with some kind of recommendation that the Secretary of State and the Lieutenant Governor's museums need to be under one roof. But maybe we need a board in North Louisiana, one in Baton Rouge and one in New Orleans, that focuses on the museums in that region, both the ones under our jurisdiction, but also through this private-public partnership, using some of those assets to set up a grant program for the local museums that are struggling to get funding, and put them all under an umbrella to market and promote them, so everyone knows all those great museums we have in the state. We've got too many treasures that people don't know about, and you know, some of them are open 7 days a week, some of them open 4 days a week. We've got to get coordinated and make sure all those museums, everyone that comes to Louisiana knows about them.